something I don't get to do enough of is just go out and shoot. So decided to take the day, this morning at least, and come out to Phinizy Swamp and Nature Center, because I've had friends ask me before, how did you get that shot? I've had raccoons, birds, all kinds of really cool shots. And so gonna try and see what we can get today. I have the R5 with the 7200 2.8. All right, so already I have my eyes on, I think it's a hawk, could be an osprey, but there's a tree right over there. Yeah, right there. So one of the interesting things about Phinizy is it is like right next to the Augusta Regional Airport. So there are planes taking off all day long, and that's just what happened just now. I was a little nervous that this hawk, I think it's a red shoulder hawk from the just looking through the viewfinder, I was afraid he was going to take off, but he seems pretty used to it. Was definitely not bothered, but I was able to get some fun pictures of the airplane actually behind him. I got out of here a little later than I wanted to, about 8:30. But, you know, try and get out here when the animals are still active, especially in the springtime. Springtime's gonna be a lot of fun here in about 1 to 2 months. Went ahead and tucked my pant legs into the boots because it's going to get wet, and we're actually coming up on a section that was severely flooded the last time I was out here. So trying to just be proactive and not get too wet today. This is what I was talking about. See how it's underwater? It was just like this the last time, so that's why the britches are now inside of the boots. So we're gonna see if we can do this without getting too wet. Again, I'm glad that it's cold because there are no snakes, there are no gators that I can see. So we're gonna try and go through this real quick. Whew. I don't know if you can see it, but this one is actually moving. So got to be real careful coming through here. I do hear a woodpecker, but with the way sound travels, he could be anywhere. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, wow. The good news is we're not coming back this way. We are about to head to a section where there tend to be a lot of birds, and we are actually going to go the long way back around. So not too worried about getting wet today now after that. Something I also tell my friends and anybody else that asks how I get some of those shots is, yeah, there's a lot going on over here over my shoulder, but there's just as much going on down here. Right now there's a lot of songbirds, but it's very swampy, so could very easily lend itself to a good spot to find deer or raccoons, otters, possums, just about anything. So while I do keep an eye kind of over to where all the main action is going on, I really like to more focus on this wooded area here to see if I can see anything really cool, because a lot of times I've been walking on the Augusta Canal in this very same situation, and there was a lot going on my right, but when I looked down, suddenly I saw a deer just walking along this very small spit of land. So if you're careful and you're quiet, which I'm not doing right now, sometimes you can really find some cool stuff to photograph. Let's see if he'll stay. I think it's just a seagull. So what I'm doing is actually something that I do for a lot of my wildlife photography and video, is I'll take some shots at a distance, and I know they're not great, but I'd rather have something than nothing sometimes. So I'll take some shots, creep forward, take some shots, creep forward. And that's what I'm doing with this. It looks like actually an ibis. He's on this little dock, so he's kind of cleaning himself. He might not be too scared of me today, but so I'm trying a couple shots, get away, or get closer. A couple shots, get closer. All right, I'm in luck. He's let me get like really close to him because he's through this gate on a little like a little dock or something. Great leading lines. But one of the things that I made sure to do is, one, get the photo. So I got as close as he would let me through this gate. And then now it's all about using the gate to kind of frame. The gate's, you know, that dark wood. So it's allowed me to kind of shade a little bit. We got some really good shading happening. But then also, because I'm able to like frame him up really cool, that's one of the fun shots, is just framing him up using the leading lines, the counter lines from this fence, this gate. So this is a lot of fun. Let's talk bucket shot list. See these holes in these trees? It is one of my bucket shot lists that I would love to get a shot of an animal looking out one of these holes one day. I see raccoons, I've seen birds. I just want that shot one day. Just because it's February, it's starting to warm up a little bit. But down here, we got a little gator. See if we can't get some video and some photos of him. But he's sunning, so he's definitely trying to get warm. But I'd say he's 2.5, maybe 3 feet max. So still a little guy, but awesome. I'm glad that we were able to get this. And I don't know what it is, but even though I see gators all the time, because here in Augusta, Georgia, they are just about everywhere. If there's body of water, if it's wet, you can guarantee that a gator has been there, or at least lives there. And I've kayaked with them in the Okefenokee Swamp, and yet every time I see them, I still get pretty excited about it, just because they're so cool. They're the closest thing to dinosaurs that we have, I guess you could say. All right, if you've watched my travel vlogs from the Okefenokee Swamp, then you have an idea what this means. It looks like somebody or something has slid out of there, come across, I think went down right there from the looks of it. Looks like a gator has come across and matted all that down as they changed from this waterway over to this one. So yes, they can get up on the banks. Things have picked way up since I got into these retaining pond areas, and there's several families out here, and actually one has a couple young girls with a grandpa, it sounds like, and I'm guessing they found a gator and they're on the other side. So I'm going to try and make my way over that way, but you know, I guess you listen out for where people get excited. It's kind of like in Yellowstone, when you see cars, you know there must be some kind of wildlife. When you hear screaming, you must know that there's snake, alligator, something creepy crawling. Have I got a shot for y'all? So something that a few people I think misunderstand is that these gators are stuck in the water. Not the case. As I just showed a little back ways, you can see where some of the big boys have come up on shore, and went from one area to another. I'm not going to get too close because I don't feel like dying today, but this is so cool. He's right over there. And again, this is a case of, I'm very glad I have a 70 to 200. It's all the way out to 200 with the 2X, so 400. I'm not getting any closer than this. I don't feel like dying. I don't feel like getting hurt. I don't feel like disturbing him. So this is one of the coolest shots that I've been able to get. And that includes being in the water with them. It shows that when you're out here, you got to be careful because they can come up over the bank and then they'll come out, they'll sun, but mostly that's what they want to do, is they just want to sun. All right, that made it worth it. Getting to see one of the big boys up on the bank. Again, don't get too close, don't get eaten. Also, love seeing the blue heron over here, some of the other guys, but whew, that'll get your heart racing, just knowing that he can probably get up and go and get after me if he really wanted to. Headed back to the truck now and found 2 more gators right over there. Pretty big one, and then a not so big one, but he's got his head up, so awesome. It's starting to warm up, sun's coming out a little bit more. Perfect way to end a morning out at Phinizy Swamp.